Hey, Wonderhussy here, headed out with my friend Eric, who you might remember from a previous video. He likes to explore the desert and finds all kinds of crazy stuff out and about in the hills. So we're about to go check out an old abandoned homestead, but on the way, look what we saw! A little desert tortoise! Feller, don't go in the road! Oh no, maybe I'm chasing him into the road.
If he does, I'm gonna have to pick him up.
Yeah, you're not supposed to pick them up unless they go in the road. And look, he's going in the road, and there's a lot of traffic on this road today. Okay, the tortoise was trying to cross the road from that side to this side, but this is a busy highway. There's a lot of people coming down here. A lot of off-roaders use this road to get to Dumont Dunes. We passed several cars blazing along this highway, and it didn't seem safe for this little guy to be in the middle of the road. So even though you're not supposed to pick them up, because what happens, you pick them up and they get scared and they pee all their water out. They have a little bladder that keeps, there's no water out here for them to drink. There's no springs or creeks or anything. The only water this little guy gets is from the plants he eats. So if you pick one up and it gets scared and it pees, it loses all that precious water that it's saved up inside to live. So you don't want to do that unless the tortoise is in the road, and then it's in even more danger. And in that case, you move it to the side of the road that it was in the direction that it was traveling, because they want to go where they want to go. Look, here comes a car right now. Just in time, man. We got this little guy out of the road just in time. He's cruising off into the desert. He'll be okay. Bye, little feller. Enjoy the desert. Okay, back in the car and on to our destination. We're gonna go check out an old abandoned, I think it's an old stone cabin, and I don't know how old it is, but it looks from Google Earth really old. Okay, road doesn't seem so bad, but Eric said it's a terrible road. And it's too bad to even drive the whole thing. We have to hike part of it. And if Eric says it's a bad road, it's a bad road, because, well, I've off-roaded with him before, and he's not exactly what you would call shy about bad roads. Okay, we're at the first place. Eric's doing one of those tours he does where he'll take me around to a bunch of stuff he's found. And this is like some kind of old abandoned homestead. I mean, there's not a whole lot left, but you can see little bits and pieces of metal. Looks like there was an old corral here, some kind of collapsed old building, some scrubby, I don't know what you call those, pinyon pines, I guess. Juniper, that's what these trees are. You can tell because they have these little juniper berries on them. Smells like gin and tonic. Oh, here, this must have been, maybe this was the house. Look at this. I mean, it looks like it was some kind of mesh with like stucco or Adobe stucco. I don't know what you would call that. It was probably a pretty nice homestead. I don't know. I better check the elevation. 4789. So we're at almost 5,000 feet up here, which I guess makes sense because of all the Joshua trees. And he said he's been up here when it was covered in snow. Oh gosh, look at this. Beautiful little cactus blossoms. Isn't that amazing how friggin' electric magenta pink these things are? Just gorgeous. It's such an unexpected pop of color in this otherwise fairly monochromatic landscape. But oh my god, look at this landscape. This is gorgeous. Okay, now we're gonna go check out some petroglyphs Eric knows about up here. All right, we're coming up to a sign. Please don't erase the traces of America's past. Oh wow, yeah, look. I won't touch them, but they just, I guess, chipped away at that dark varnish. You're not supposed to touch petroglyphs because the oils from your skin can, I don't know, mess them up, degrade them. And, well, if everybody was coming out here rubbing them, they'd be gone in no time. Oh yeah, look, there's a ton up here. My goodness. That almost looks like cactus down there. Oh, I think I recognize that one. If you watched my video about Cooter Canyon, well, you might recognize that. I think this is meant to be a stylized vulva. It's like a fertility petroglyph for their fertility rituals to make sure they had plenty of strong boy babies. Oh yeah, and then they do those ones that are just like dots. I don't know what that represents. Holy cow, there's a ton of petroglyphs up here. This is cool. Well, I could stay here looking at these petroglyphs all day, but, well, here's one that I think is kind of interesting. Newer vintage. Some guy wrote his initials here supposedly in 1933. I don't know, this here, JEH 96. LEM, no date. Or maybe that was the 1933. Wow, that's a long time ago, almost 100 years. Which I guess it's still technically defacing the really old stuff, but at one point, well, I'm interested in that. At what point does it become an archaeological artifact and not just graffiti? Okay, Eric's theory is that these might be petrified wood. I mean, if you look at them, a lot of them do look like tree cross sections, you know? I don't know anything about petrified wood though, so somebody watching this will have to tell me if we're right or wrong. Just looks like the patterns in some of these are like an old tree. Huh? I don't know. Could be. Okay, wow, that was stop 2, the petroglyphs. Stop 1 was this old homestead where we left the truck. But now we're going to get back in the truck and go on to stop 3, which is the one I'm most excited about because I've had this pinned on my map for a long time. Okay, hey, this is wild, man. We're on our way trying to get to the 3rd location, but the road was blocked by an abandoned car. Look at this. Right in the middle of the road, somebody, we don't know if it was stolen or what, but oh my gosh. That doesn't even look like it's that old though, huh? It hasn't been here that long. Oh yeah, look, there's a copy of Vegas Cannabis magazine in the front seat. Oh, no way. Look at this. Vegas Cannabis. I used to write a monthly column for this magazine, but not back in 2019. It's a fine publication. Wow, yeah, this thing's trashed. Just sitting here rusting away in the desert, totally abandoned. Oh, look, there's a bunch of pennies in the back. No clues, though, as to what happened here. Plates are missing. Oh, wow, there's a big old rat's nest under the hood. I guess when Eric opened the hood, a big rat came crawling out. Unfortunately, I missed shooting that. Wow, that's wild, man. This car is not driven anywhere in a while. Look what Eric found. Not gonna help you very much here, roadside assistance. Funny. Anything else good in here? Courtesy check. Oh, they took it in to get serviced. Ford Explorer. Oh yeah, the VIN number's on here, but you know, we're not here to try to solve a mystery today. We're just here to go check out interesting stuff in the desert, which I guess this qualifies as interesting stuff in the desert. Wow, that really was a rough road, but we were able to drive all the way up to the site of this. Well, I was under the impression that it was a really old adobe and stone cabin. And well, actually, now that I'm looking at it, it is adobe. Look at that. This is wild. I mean, yes, there is corrugated tin, but look at this wall here. That's adobe mud. Look how they built that out of those little branches. And then it looks like they strung barbed wire and then just packed this adobe mud. I'll walk over the threshold here into the, well, what used to be the inside. And you can see the cross section of the wall here. Look at that. That's how they built the walls of this place. Oh, but look how nice the wall is on the inside. Pretty smooth. I mean, all things considered, for being way up here, and this is remote. Okay, as the crow flies, we're not really far from Vegas. We're not really that far from Pahrump. But it's just so tucked away up in these mountain canyons that you would really have to know where you were going to find this place. And like I said, the road was gnarly. Okay, so there's where we parked. You can see there's a big flat area, perfect for camping. This would be an amazing campsite. I mean, just look how beautiful the ridgeline is behind us. Beautiful kind of like red dirt, mountains all around, lots of trees, lots of these juniper pines. And then this awesome old, well, I guess it must have been an old homestead. Somebody might have been mining, prospecting up here. This looked like it was maybe a workshop on the side. Very rustically built. Look at that. The old-fashioned way. But after all these years, you know, a lot of these corrugated panels are still hanging on the roof. How about that? And they're just nailed on. You'd think the wind would have blown this stuff clean off over the past, at least 100 years, I'd say. This cabin's got to be at least 100 years old, my guess. I mean, you can see people do come up here. There's a Coors can, there's a Gatorade bottle. But, like I said earlier, you really have to know where you're going to get up here. Because this is remote. JR was here. I think part of an old sign or something. Oh, what does this say? She saw many tits. Okay. This must have been part of the old door. There's the hinge. Aw. Door blew clean off. What a shame. Okay, now let's go out this side. It's another little fire ring. Oh, there's another little building down in the trees there. We'll go check that out. But before we go down there, I'm going to turn back around. Give you a look at... This is the far side of this busted old homestead cabin. Man, I'll bet you anything. Some guy must have been up here prospecting. Oh, look at this wall. It's still intact. Oh my goodness. Look at that window. Oh, wow, there's a framed out window in this Adobe wall. How about that? Okay, I don't care who you are. That is cool. Look at that. Far out. Set right into this Adobe mud. Can you imagine having to build a house out of the materials available in this landscape? I mean, yeah, it's thickly forested by Southern Nevada standards, but there's not a lot of really big trees here. So you would exhaust your supply pretty quick if you were trying to build like a log cabin. So you got to use the materials you have at hand, which was a few logs, a few branches, and a lot of mud. And that's just what they did. I mean, the ingenuity of these guys and the amount of hard work they put into these things never ceases to amaze me. Okay, I'll give you a close-up look at what this Adobe wall is made out of. I mean, it's just mud and rocks. Oh, I don't want to touch it. I might mess it up. Mud, rocks, bits of hay. Real rough. You can see here where one of the support beams, so to speak, is poking through. Actually, down at the bottom, you can see they put in a support post every foot and a half. And then they just packed the mud in between them. I guess there's probably barbed wire strung between them, like we saw in the front. You can see that here. And then I guess the barbed wire just makes it easier for the mud to adhere. A couple little holes in the wall. Wow, so all these... I mean, that's a lean-to or a shed addition that looks like it was built after the fact, maybe, out of corrugated tin. This main cabin, though, I'll bet you anything, this was all Adobe. Like, this wall over here was all Adobe, too. Except for the door they cut to go into the workshop. But you can see there's the bones of this wall. There's the support pillars, there's a little bit of barbed wire, and then there's a bunch of Adobe sort of slumped down on the ground. I guess it got wet over the years, just sort of melted. But look on this door frame. Here's some graffiti cut into it. I don't know if you can read that. February 10, 91. And then here's one that says Smith Hunt Party, 1988. Here we go. Dave Donner. Oh, too bad he didn't write Donner Party. I mean, they wrote the Smith Hunter Party. Oh, Smith Hunting, my bad. So I guess a bunch of guys named Smith went hunting and had a party. Well, I wish Dave Donner would have had a party because, well, ain't no party like a Donner Party. Oh, look, there's another piece of that same green thing. It's got some more names carved into it. These are all just people that have been up here, though, and I guess because there's no logbook to write your name, people just want to carve their name any which way they can. Seems like people have been coming up here for generations. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? My guess, because of this construction, is that this cabin's got to be at least 100 years old. I mean, it's 2022. 100 years ago would be 1922. I'll bet it's even older than that. Then again, I bet there were plenty of people living in rustic cabins like this back in 1922. Anybody watching this channel still alive ever live in anything this rustic? I mean, I know there's people in other countries today who probably live in stuff this rustic. Oh, look over here. It's a trash pile. I don't know if this is original trash from the homestead or just trash from people who've been coming up here over the years, but there are some pretty old cans. Too rusted away to make out what they once were, though. Oh, look, here's one that you can still kind of see the Budweiser logo on. Look at that. What is an old Budweiser can? Oh, look here. Here's a later generation Bud can. This also looks pretty old, doesn't it? But not quite as old as this. It's funny how they're laying there side by side. It's like somebody started a collection over the years. Oh, look. And here's one of them old Coors cans that had the 2 holes. You poked that top hole just to get better airflow. I think they only did this for like 1 or 2 years, this design. Wow, there's some cool beer cans here. Oh, and look, here's a real old shoe. Oh my goodness, look, it's just all curled up from the sun. The heel popped clean off, the little nails are poking out. Oh wow, look at this. It's a really old election sticker. It's baked by the sun. Look, it said, elect Pat Milan for governor. Gosh, did somebody named Pat Milan run for governor of Nevada? Wow, I don't have cell signal up here, but as soon as I get back into signal, I'm gonna Google it. Oh, what's this? Looks like a real old tube of toothpaste. Oh my goodness, how old is this? The clear something cream for men. Oh, maybe it's not toothpaste. The clear something cream for men. What could this be? Probably like hemorrhoid cream. Whoopsie. Oh, hair cream. Something about hair cream. Holy cow, this has to be really old, right? Can't make out the name of it, but anybody ever use hair cream that came in a toothpaste tube like this? That is old. I guess I'll roll it back up the way it was. He squeezed every last drop out of it. Look at that. Frugal. Hey, maybe we should open it and see if there's any left. Still unscrews after all these years. Oh, it's empty now. Well's gone dry. That is so cool. Some old prospector's hair cream. Screw the lid back on just the way I found it. Let somebody else find it and enjoy it. Okay, now let's go from the main homestead. There's another building. Oh, maybe this was an animal coop. Yeah, it's got wire on it. Looks like it was for a hen house or something. And there's straw in it. I mean, those are those really old corrugated tin panels you see all over the place that have like that weird old cursive writing on them. Pretty cool though. I mean, this is definitely, yeah, it was a long bumpy road to get up here and find this place. And I've had it pinned on my map for probably like 3 years, so. Was it as exciting as 3 years worth of anticipation would warrant? Well, I guess that's all relative. To me, yeah, it actually was. Matter of fact, I think the whole day was totally worth it. I mean, this was a bonanza of a day. I mean, not only did we see petroglyphs and old historic ruins, we also saw a tortoise and an abandoned, possibly stolen car. Matter of fact, the only thing missing is a hot spring, and we would have had a Nevada quinella. Is that what they call it in horse racing, where you hit all 5? Not bad for, well, gosh, we're only a few hours from where I live. Couple hours, maybe? Maybe not even that far. Wow, man, I just think it's so cool that there's stuff like this that I still haven't found yet within hour and a half, 2 hours of my house. That just goes to show that I will never get bored as long as I live out here in fabulous, well, I was going to say Southern Nevada, but Southern Nevada, Southeastern California, well, let's just call it the Mojave Desert.